But what you're witnessing is something far bigger. Trump is systematically dismantling the post-war British imperial system, and he's doing it while delivering the largest blue-collar wage increases in 60 years. The empire's puppets can see their game is up. I'm Susan Kokinda, and I've been fighting this fight since 1971, when I joined Lyndon LaRouche's organization the day Nixon ended the Bretton Woods system. I've seen every attempt to break free from British imperial control, and I can tell you, what Trump is doing right now is unprecedented. So today, I'll break down what really happened at the G7 meeting, how Trump is navigating the Iran-Israeli crisis in ways most people don't understand, and how the British are panicking because Trump's economic and strategic revolution is working, and it can end the post-war globalist order if you understand it and support it. Now, you saw the headlines. Trump left the G7 summit in Calgary early, flying back to Washington to deal with the Israel-Iran crisis. But the real story is what Trump said before he left, right to the faces of the globalist elite. Standing next to Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney, the very icon of post-war globalist economic policy, Trump called out the G7 for throwing Russia out of that institution in 2014. He said, the G7 used to be the G8. Barack Obama and a person named Trudeau didn't want to have Russia in it. I would say that that was a mistake, because I think you wouldn't have a war right now if you had Russia in. Let that sink in. Trump, in front of the whole world, told the architects of the post-war order that their entire system is the problem, and he's right. The G7 represents everything Trump is dismantling. When Trump says you threw Russia out, and that was a mistake, he's not just talking about Ukraine. He's saying your system is the problem. Your system creates war, because the old world order needs enemies to survive. Trump wants partners. One of those partners is Russia. Trump has had two recent discussions with Vladimir Putin about the potential of Russia helping mediate the Israel-Iran crisis. One discussion was right before Israel preemptively attacked Iran, and the other one was on Saturday, after Israel had launched the attacks. Just today, TASS reported again that Russia is ready to mediate. Also remember that Russia continues to pinpoint the role of the British in aiding not only Ukraine in their drone attacks on Russia, but in assisting Israel in the Iran operation. Now, Bill O'Reilly said something very revealing in a News Nation interview on Monday. O'Reilly said the following: earlier today, I texted with President Trump. He doesn't want to use American air power at this point, because that would cause problems with China and Putin. As most of you know, O'Reilly is not a fan of Xi Jinping or Putin. Earlier in the interview, he agreed with the hyperventilating host that the world would be better off without them. But what he said about Trump is what's key. In what world does the President of the United States care about causing problems with China and Putin? Not in Mark Carney's world. Not in the world of the recent British Defense Strategy Report, which treats Russia and China as permanent enemies. Not in the world of Lindsey Graham or Mike Pompeo. Donald Trump is committed to a new world of sovereign nations, not a world in which nations are pieces on the geopolitical chessboard to be moved or sacrificed by the global overlords. Look, there's a lot of political turbulence. There's warnings that Trump is selling out to the neocons or the Zionists. And on the other hand, you have the hardcore war hawks who want to excommunicate Trump supporters who don't want to go to war with Iran. They're all missing this. Trump is trying to untangle decades of imperial policy, and he's doing it out in the open. Trump is up against political leaders and movements at home and abroad who've been created by the British elites. Zionists, radical Islamic fundamentalists, neocons, not to mention all the crazies on the left side of the equation. These forces are loose in a world that Donald Trump has to deal with as he tries to take command of the situation while maintaining his commitment to defend the United States and reestablish it as a sovereign republic. And that's what terrifies the old world has-beens. But Donald Trump needs something else. He needs people here in the United States and around the world to cut through the ground-level fog of war and see clearly this larger picture and the deeper principles. That's what we do at Promethean Act.